Manitoba has seen 62 wildfires so far this year. 13 are currently burning, and all of them have been human-caused. It's really dry in Manitoba, and the province is increasing its fire and travel restrictions due to the ongoing danger. Fire bans are now in effect in several areas of our province. And joining us now from Manitoba's Climate Action Team is Laura Cameron. Good morning, Laura.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Now, I have allergies, you have asthma. When there's winds like this and there's fires all over the province and that smoke comes wafting in our city, you really feel this.
Yeah, I do. I mean, you know, my job is to pay attention to these things as a climate advocate and researcher, but I also feel it on a personal level as someone who has asthma and allergies, and I think lots of, that applies to many Manitobans who have, whether it's asthma or other chronic illnesses that are or young children or pregnant people. There's a wide range of people who are really affected by the air quality that we're seeing today.
Absolutely, and you woke up feeling that way. Many others will likely wake up that feeling that air is affecting their breathing. Let's talk about these wildfires. It has been a really dry spring so far, not much precipitation. Does it surprise you we're in this state right now?
I mean, it's not surprising. It always is sort of jarring when the moment comes and you wake up and there's fires burning across the province and you feel that heavy smoke as soon as you walk out the door. I think it's hard. You don't get used to that, but it's not like this is something that we didn't expect. The climate scientists have been telling us for decades, nearly 5 decades, that this is what we were going to expect. Mike Flanagan, who's a lead fire scientist out of Alberta, when I interviewed him a number of years ago, he says, the future is smoky. That's sort of how he described it. And so this is something that we've known is coming, and unfortunately it's intensifying sometimes even faster than climate scientists predicted. And so now we have to do two things. We have to reduce our emissions to prevent even worse wildfire seasons in the future, and we also have to adapt and support communities, the First Nations who have declared states of emergency, the many communities that are facing evacuation orders that are directly affected. So I think it's a two-pronged approach.
And so when you see this, it sort of proves, you feel, that what scientists have been saying for years.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, climate change, like wildfires, are an impact of climate change, which is driven by the burning of oil, gas, and coal, fossil fuels, and so we need to transition away from those. The fire season that we're seeing right now, we've had record heat in Manitoba, like you say, very dry conditions. The wind also is a factor. And so all of these things come together to sort of make the perfect storm for intense fire conditions. And we're supposed to see Environment and Climate Change Canada is expecting up to 36 degrees within the next couple days, and that's almost 20 degrees above the seasonal average for this time of year, which is 17 degrees. So it's just, we're in a new era, and I think, it is a climate emergency, and we need governments to be, treating it as such.
Now, we know that this affects us, obviously, but it also affects the wildlife. It affects the vegetation out there. Tell us about the long-term effects of that.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, Manitoba has diverse landscapes, and we're seeing a range of them being affected by wildfires already. And so, yeah, there's the direct impact of the burning and displacement and sometimes destruction of infrastructure. And then there's, as we're experiencing today, a much wider impact of the smoke that can persist for a really long time. So it's both an ecological crisis and a public health crisis, and also the economic impacts. The cost of supporting communities that are having to rebuild and that are being evacuated, and all of those costs, I think, are what we need to take into consideration when we think about, the cost that it takes to reduce our emissions and address climate change. Not addressing climate change comes with these also very serious costs.
Laura, thank you for sharing this with us, and good luck with your asthma today.